care of business and all DC on that train smoking.
Smoking.
They was trying to slow it down, but he said have places to be, people to see, and things to do.
You know, the day I want to leave DC, they decided Amtrak's gonna be late.
Yeah, right. You know, so y'all know the voice y'all listening to now, of course, is none other than our brother, Congressman Donald M. Payne Jr. And brothers,
Good
this
to
is
be
the
with
Payne Report.
Good to be with you.
Going down, brother.
Well, I mean, you know, as you stated, I just getting off the train from DC and had a pretty interesting week, I would say, yesterday,
To say the least.
culminating in the moving forward in the hearings on President Trump and the inquiry into impeachment. And you know, uh, nobody likes to do this, but it is our constitutional obligation. It's the one job in Congress that we have is
Right.
to be the check and balance of the executive branch.
That's what I heard Nancy Pelosi say to Speaker of the House.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we're doing our job. We're I mean, you know, no one deserves it more than him, but we're doing our job.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's unfortunate that we have a person in the White House that is just totally void of law and order and anything other than enriching himself.
Right.
And, you know, the founding fathers of this country didn't set it up that way. This is what they were trying to set it up against.
Exactly.
They did not want a
Yeah.
tyrant. They did not want a dictator. They did not want a king. They just came out of that.
Yeah.
So they did everything they could to make it a government of the people, and having the Congress be the check and balance for the administration, the executive branch, uh, is our sworn duty.
Yeah. Yeah. And even that, I mean, what you got to understand is that this guy doesn't even have. You know, it's funny because when I was an undergrad, one of the things they used to talk about all the time in political science was, you know, the United States of America was a country of laws. This guy has no respect for the
At all.
law, and I thought everybody respected the Congress, man. And this is one guy who's like, I don't care what y'all say. I don't care. I know y'all make the laws, but I really don't care.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know, and then not only that, he even got an attorney general that's acting just as nuts, man.
the attorney general's supposed to work for the people of
You
the
follow me?
country,
Yeah,
but he has his own personal lawyers.
right, right. And so is he telling this guy, look, man, you can just break the law. Don't worry about it. I got you.
You know, I don't know, but it sounds like it.
Yeah.
I mean, based on the way they're operating,
Yeah.
it's pretty close to that.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching, you know, not only you on the floor, but I was listening to Nancy Pelosi, and you know, and she pretty much laid it out, man. She just said, look, you know, these three branches of government were set up for checks and balances, and it just seems like at this particular point, I mean, no one can check this guy.
Right.
I mean, and not only that, he's telling everybody that's with him that they don't have to pay attention to the rule of law.
Absolutely.
So you can just break the law. Don't worry about it. I got you. Even if they put you in jail, don't worry about it. You know, I got it
I
set
got you
up.
covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
come on, man.
It's absolutely despicable.
And think about all the young people that's looking at this, guys.
I know.
I mean,
What
we're
does
looking
it
at
say
right,
for the future?
right, and think about all of the kids who. I mean, I can only imagine the kids studying political science now looking at this. Because when I was studying political science, I was like, wow, man, you had respect for the Senate and the Congress. Like now, like there's no respect for the presidency.
No, it's a sad state of affairs, and that's why we have to make sure that he's a one-term president.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you know, impeachment is the goal.
Right.
But you know, the way things have gone so far, you know, we can't hang our hat on that either.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, we're like the grand jury,
Right.
the Congress,
That's right.
and so we indict,
Right.
and then it goes over to
So-
the Senate,
Yeah.
is the jury,
Yeah.
and you know, they look like they're kind of
Yeah.
are willing to look the other way.
Well, I mean,
I hope not.
based on what they, I mean, they basically said that, you guys are acting like, communists. I'm like, where's that coming from? Like that, like,
I don't understand that.
right? Like, I was watching Morning Joe, and I was saying, wait a minute, what sort of Congress is the communists now? I mean,
It's just ridiculous.
I mean, what happened to the Republicans? Weren't they the guys who everything that came out of their mouth was about America, America,
Law and
Americans,
order,
Americans, right?
patriotism,
What happened
and
to
now
that?
it's all gone.
Remember when Ronald Reagan was the president? I mean, come on, man. I mean, I mean, everywhere you went, and I remember there was this argument at one point with Ronald Reagan: if you didn't wear a flag, on your lapel,
Then
you
you
were not
were
American.
right.
What happened, man?
It's the world's been turned upside
Oh
down,
man, it's just
turned on its
absolutely
head.
incredible, man.
It really is. I mean, they were at one time, being a communist was, an insult. They
Yeah.
use that against black people. You commie,
Oh, I remember that.
but now all of a sudden Putin is all right.
That's
Everything's
Donald
all
Trump's
right
partner, bro.
with the communists. I
Yeah.
mean, what happened to all that? They were teaching me all these years. It's unreal. So wait a minute. Now the commies are all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's absurd. It's ridiculous.
I know one thing is for sure, man. I would not want to be in Washington D.C. right now with all of that chaos, man. Because from day to day, you don't really know what's going on. And here's the other thing. I heard that Donald Trump is no longer a New Yorker, man.
Oh yeah, I just heard that today as well. He
Yeah.
moved to
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah. And they said that that is because he doesn't have to pay any taxes.
Right.
Like, wow,
Makes
man.
sense. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no income tax in Florida.
But he's a real American, though, right? I mean, you know, what American doesn't want to pay their taxes? Like, come on.
Hey, listen, it's par for the course. Par for the course. But yeah, on another note, it's been a pretty rough couple of weeks since the passing of Elijah Cummings,
Yeah, our beloved brother, you know,
the gentleman from Maryland 7th District in Baltimore,
better known as the chairman, brother.
the chairman. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man.
And it's been pretty difficult on a few of us, most of us, and really, really kind of reflecting and looking back at the work that he had done. And you never know when people are going to leave, so you got to really try
Yeah.
to. It's another example of that hitting me, that you really got to, you know, utilize people and talk to them and be with them, before they go, because you don't know when they're going to
Right.
go. I mean, I knew he was having a little trouble because I was helping him with it actually, with my, me being dialysis
Right.
patient. I've almost become like the go-to guy in the
Mm.
caucus when, one of my other colleagues is looking at that and all. They call me and I talk to them about it and
Right.
give them. So I was doing that with Mr. Cummings
Okay.
over the past 3-4 weeks. He would
Okay.
call me and, Payne, what about this? What about that? And we're fairly close before, but in this new role, me kind of looking out for him. He really was like a father to me on the floor of Congress because, he's a no nonsense guy, man. He's serious. He's about business,
Right.
and that's what I always respected about him. He wasn't there to play.
Right.
He didn't play a lot. He smiled every once in a while, but he was about serious business for his constituents and the American people to the degree that he could
Right.
be involved. And so it was a crushing blow. I mean, with all of this going on in Congress now, and there was a great feeling with him being head of oversight
Hmm.
that we had somebody at the helm that was
Right.
going to take care of business.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So just a devastating blow. Um, he would talk to me and he would talk about his situation and all, and just he said, when he just said to me, he said, "The Payne, I'm scared, man."
Mm.
And it wasn't about his health. He He's just scared about the direction of the country and what Trump was doing to it.
Mm,
He wasn't worried about himself
right.
because it came out at his funeral. His wife said that he had been sick for 25 years. He had an illness that they said he wouldn't last 6 months.
Right.
And 25 years later, he's still here.
Right.
So that shows you this kind of man and grit, determination, and that he was part of. He was supposed to be out of here 25 years ago, and he's still here. God rest his soul. Until last week.
Hmm. Hmm.
I went to last week. The Congressional Black Caucus did a what we call a special order hour. We do these every
Okay.
Monday night where we talk about any topic we want.
Right.
For an hour, we control the floor.
Okay.
Different members of the Congressional Black Caucus have an opportunity to come up and speak. And I spoke at that naturally. But I also went to the floor a few days later after we learned that also, God rest his soul, the Dean of the Congress, John Conyers,
Yeah.
passed away at the age of 90. And he had risen to be um, uh, the senior member in the United States House of Representatives. At one time, Charlie Rangel was number two, and John Conyers was number one.
Yeah.
Man, it
I
was a
remember
great
that.
time for me.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So, Mr. Conyers, who did so much work.
And what's interesting is they both served with your father, man.
Absolutely. Yep. I got to serve with them, and they served with my father.
That was big, man.
Quite an honor. Quite an honor. And sometimes people wonder why I'm. We don't hear Payne, we don't hear you boisterous, you're not loud, no, you got. I really take deference to these senior members.
Mhm.
I'm going to be here. I'm going to have my chance.
Hmm.
I just show respect for them. I mean, if they're in the room talking, what do I have to say?
Yeah.
Charlie Rangel is.
Yeah.
What
There you
do
go.
I have? I'm
Right.
listening. I'm learning.
Right.
So,
It's funny, man, because the way I was looking at it, man, when Elijah went home to be with the Lord, and then I heard about Kanye's, because I told you, man, I was shocked when I woke up that morning,
yeah,
and you told me you was up at 5 o'clock sitting on the end of your bed, man.
yeah,
And for me, it felt like we were losing generals, man.
absolutely.
I mean, because there's a
It's true.
scripture in the Bible that says that the younger for war and the elders, right, are supposed to be there providing wisdom and leadership for us. And that's what I felt like, man, that morning, man. And even with Kanye's, man, because of who he is and what he represented, and the fact that he's been in Congress for so long. And the thing is that when you think about it, think about what we could have learned from these guys, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I
That's
mean?
what I was doing every week at the
Yeah.
at the Congressional Black Caucus lunch. I just listen and
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
But it is a sad day. It really was. And I attended his funeral, and there was also a ceremony at the House of Representatives.
Was that the private one that they had for y'all, the families?
Um, it wasn't private. It was open to members of Congress and
Okay.
staff and all.
Right.
But they, he's the only second member. He might have been the only member. He's the only second person in Lion State there in the
Yeah.
rotunda.
Yeah, he said
Not the rotunda, in the.
he's the first African American
Yeah.
to lie in state.
Yeah. And they don't do that for a lot of people.
Right.
So
Right.
it was quite an honor.
Yeah.
Quite an honor.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I am honored that we had him on the Payne Report.
Absolutely. And I had been talking to him about coming back on. He said as soon as he got himself together, he'd be back.
Because he had said that. He said, y'all got to have me back when he was on.
Absolutely.
And I just thought that was such an honor, man, for us to have him on the Payne Report. And remember, he was dropping wisdom, and the thing that excited him the most when he was on, when we brought up the fact that, he was right there amongst the people with Freddie Gray. And remember, he thanked us for that. He said, man, I thank y'all for, saying that and bringing it up, man, because most people didn't realize, and we talked about this last week here on the show, most people didn't realize that he lived right there in the community, man.
Right there.
They lived in a house that his family owned and grew up in, man. Think about that.
Never left.
Never left. And that is why I think that he could kind of lead the kind of leadership that he was leading, right? Because he went home every night to the
Right.
people,
Yeah.
right? And I thought that that was really really big, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, his district was very
Yeah,
fortunate
yeah.
to have him as their congressman.
You
True
know, it's
fighter.
funny. In hip hop, we say, we talk about digging somebody's flow. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I really dug his flow,
Yeah,
man.
man.
You know what I mean? And I just think that, that's why I told you, I was shocked, man, when I woke up that morning. Kim got up first. She woke me up, and
Hmm.
I was like, she said, I know this is going to be terrible news for you. And when she told me that, I said, oh, what?
Yeah.
And all I could think about was you, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I got a
You
call
know?
at 5 in the morning, and they let me know that he had passed, and it was really devastating.
See, that's why I said, man, these are generals, man, and we've got to take every opportunity that we can to sit down with them,
Yes,
man,
absolutely.
talk to them, find out, what it is that we can learn and how we can use it, and carry it forward in order to move our communities forward, man.
Yeah. Every time he came to the floor, I sat next to him.
Yeah,
He was using a walker these days and was having trouble, and so he would get to the first seat there
yeah,
on the front row, and then I'd just sit next to him, whatever he needed, whatever he wanted, and just talk
yeah.
and really learned a lot from him. He was an incredible individual.
What I thought was a powerful story was when his wife, Rocky Moore Cummings, when she said that, you know, on the final day, she said they took him up to the roof.
Yeah.
When she said that,
Oh yeah.
on top of the roof, in the bed, and she said the sun was shining on him, and he had said to her, he said, "I'm tired."
Hmm.
Man, that had me crying, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa, man," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she was so powerful, brother. You know what I mean? And I mean, I thank God that you had her on the Payne Report as well, man.
Right.
And I was just thinking to myself, man. I said, man, I said, imagine the information she has, right?
Yeah.
And that's why, when she get herself together, man, after some time, we definitely got to have her back to pick her brain, man. To
Absolutely.
say we need you to share some of that wisdom. We
Absolutely.
know that you've got some of that stuff in you, sis. You
Oh
know?
yeah. I mean, they were a true power couple, and
Yes.
she, in her own right, has made a mark for herself.
Yeah.
So, we might not have heard the last from her
Yeah.
either. So,
Yeah. I sure hope not, man. I mean, I just, I really, I think she did a great job, you know, because she made it personal, right?
right.
Remember when she told Obama, she said he really, really liked you.
Oh yeah.
But she made it personal, right? I mean, and who knows better than your wife that sleeps
Right.
next to you every night, but
Absolutely.
what he thinks about everybody,
Yeah.
you know? And remember when she said that he supported Clinton, you know, when they were coming against Clinton, and I thought that that was just so on point, man. To hear that, because if you're hearing it from her, you're really hearing it from him.
Right. Right. I mean, she would know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It was a beautiful homegoing, man.
it was.
And to see everybody show up the way that they did.
Oh yeah, it was a great outpouring of love and respect. The church held 4,000 people,
Yeah, yeah,
and it was quite a scene to see every seat filled
yeah,
that day.
yeah,
Just about 2 days ago, I went to the floor after everything kind of settled down, and wanted to do my own moment of respect for him.
right.
Without a lot of other people talking about it. So I went to the Florida Congress about 2 days ago, and I did what they call a 1 minute speech,
Mm.
and it was on Congressman Cummings and our relationship. And if we could we play
Yeah.
that? Madam Speaker, I rise today to honor Congressman Elijah Eugene Cummings after his sudden passing on October 17th. Much has been said about his legacy and dedication to the people of Maryland's 7th District, but I rise to honor his humility and incredible love for our country. Not knowing that he could relate, but he was concerned with more than just his health at that moment. He is concerned about our country. America has come a long way during his lifetime, but he knew it would not take much to undo the progress that we have made with an American icon and my father on the floor of Congress. It is a moment I will treasure forever. And with that, Madam Speaker, I yield back the balance of my time.
That was a powerful uh, speech by you, man. I had an opportunity to see you do that live, man.
Yeah, I glad I was able to hold it together. It's kind of rough right now, but
Yeah,
yeah, he just meant so much to so many.
yeah.
And
I saw you, man, when you had to end it, man. You know what I mean? Because I
yeah,
saw you getting emotional, and you was about to get us emotional, man. We were watching this. Yeah, man. I think that there are not many brothers like that come our way, and I think that's a great example for you, though, brother, because you can look at him and say to yourself, not only did you have your father as that example, but you had this other brother that was an example. So no matter what folks say, I mean, you had an incredible opportunity that most people don't get, man.
it was true. Believe me, I know
You
how blessed I am, and
Yeah,
I'm appreciative of all the opportunities that I've been given in my lifetime, and
yeah.
all I try to do is give back because I know, that it is just, I've just been blessed.
The way you using your position, man, to get in touch with doctors and sharing that information, you saving people's lives. And I think about that, man. I said, wow, just think about not only people who